Okay, so let's finish this. I'm thinking that the trees are pretty much done. I mean, obviously you could add more. At this point, I don't really look at the reference much anymore. I tend to just go with what looks good because you've already put stuff down, so just kind of work with what you've got now. So we've really pretty much got all these trees done, and let's just put a bit in there where it's a bit white, and that's that tree that's fallen down. Well, it has to me, so it's fallen down. And we can probably just pop a little bit of white on there, white or yellow, just to give a bit of a glow. Using the side of it, bring that back together there. And can't quite get to that with the camera there. I felt it needed a little bit more puffing. Oops, it's my brush clicking. Sorry. And then we're just popping a bit more. So there we go. So have a look at your own trees and decide now whether you need to puff them out a bit more or whether you're happy with how they look. If they're full enough or if they come around enough. You don't want them uniform. You want them to be messy. So I think we are looking good. Your base branches need to come out further than your top ones. That makes sense. So as you can see, that's a little bit uniform over this side. So I'm just messing it up a bit. There we go. And you can still see the trunks in there. You're not you don't want to get too overpaint too much where that you can't see those. And then in the background you've got a bit more tree coming through there. So you've got that going, and it's not much of a, you're not doing anything magic with your brush, really. You're just touching the paint on there, really. Okay, so now we're going to add some flowers because now you could go through and darken this up some through where the sun is. You could go through and darken it up. But I'm actually quite happy to leave it glowy like that, if that makes sense. You can add a little bit of yellow to it if you want to. You don't have to. Look, this is probably not even showing up on camera, but you can see the detail from your own perspective and work out whether you need to add more or add less. Okay, so let's add some flowers. Now I'm going to get a clean brush because I've made an absolute mess of those and I don't really want to be bothered right now cleaning them. I am going to add a little bit of linseed oil, and the reason for that is because my paint is the white paint that I use that I'm going to be using is quite stiff. I'm also adding a little bit of lemon to that because I don't want it to be completely stark white. So it is almost lemon. So I mix that up first with my white. That's very stiff. The titanium white. And a little bit of yellow. Just to give that lemony glow. Oh yes. I don't want it too bright, but I just want it enough that... Okay, so now I'm just going to go in here. Now we're putting this on wet paint, so we need to be a little bit careful. A bit more yellow. So you're basically just toning it with a bit of yellow, and that way it's not going to look stark. It's going to give it a little bit of movement and a little bit of shape. I'm just using what I've got on there. You can have bunches of them, and if they get, I'll show you what happens. If they get a little bit too... I'm only putting them sort of on this side and probably a few down here because I have a bit of a pathway here coming through. It's quite dry, my paint on there, so if that happens, you can see I'm picking up a bit of black, and that's okay, it's alright. I'll put a few over here, and you can see they're getting a bit darker, and that's okay because it's in the shadow. So that paint, you can use it as a bit of an advantage, because then you can just use it as a shadowing. Now let's just have a look what other little brushes I've got in here. Yeah. Oh, what's that one down there? He looks like a handy dandy soft brush. It's not actually, it's really hard, but it's a rubbish brush. You don't really need anything fancy for this. Okay, so you get a little bit of oil on there just to soften that out a bit. And I'm going to get a little bit of this Viridian and a bit of blue. And I'm just going to dab around these flowers a little bit to give the look of plant life, I guess is the word. Leaves and stems, and you don't have to paint them in, just giving the impression of. And you want to go up into that flower a little bit, like this. A bit more Viridian green, and do the same here. Just cutting into them, you know, cutting into the actual flower petals. It's amazing, Viridian green, it'll go everywhere, but when you want it to, bit of blue as well. If you've got a bit of blue left, use that up on the flowers. This one's a bit big, so we can just cut that in there. Otherwise, if they're too big, they'll stand out a lot more. So you can cut them down by just cutting through them with a little bit of green or a little bit of blue, the blue that you might have on there, a bit of green, and that just kind of cuts them down a bit and makes them a little bit less obvious. Okay, and then pop this on again around those ones. So we're not doing every petal or every stem. We just giving the idea that it's there. Just giving the eye a bit of a trick. Okay. Now I'm just filling that in there. See, now you can do the same. You can keep going with this. Or you can call it a day and come back tomorrow and do a bit. You don't have to do it all in one go if you don't have to, if you don't want to, or if you don't have time, that's fine too. You can break it down into sections. I'm just adding a bit of interest in the right in the forefront. Now, just with this, just the idea that grass is shooting up in the air. Whoops. Like that. You can cut that. If it's not giving you enough shape, you can just change the tonal values a little bit. Okay. Nearly done, guys, nearly done. Bear with me. I probably shouldn't have done that. I probably should have gone back into the yellow. So I'll do that now. I might put a bit of green over that just to calm that white down. So that really does complete our painting. If you would like me to do another tutorial and there's something that you would like me to help you paint in a simplistic way, if you're a learner, or if you're a little bit more advanced and there's something else that you want me to do, please comment down below and I will have a look and see what I can do. So next tutorial will be something different, something else. Not sure yet, I haven't really decided. Maybe I will do the art journal tutorial next. So keep watching, subscribe, and ring the bell and all that YouTube stuff. I'm going to stop doing this before I destroy it. Talk about overpainting. See, I told you, I'm still a bit of a fiend for it. All right, so that's it. So I hope that you enjoyed this little painting tutorial, and I hope that your little picture came out well. And if it didn't, no big deal. No big deal. As long as you had a go. That's my thoughts on that. As long as you've had a go, that's the main thing. So be good to each other, and I'm going to pop this on Instagram, I think. Oh, okay, there we go. Sort of, see, this sort of paper is very good because you can, once it's dry, you can actually roll it. So there's my little flowers. All right, awesome. Thanks very much for joining me. Have a fabulous day.